Are you a consecutive interpreter that is looking to make a switch from regular old pen and paper to an LCD tablet? If so, then this video is for you. Hello, my name is Juan. I am a consecutive interpreter with over 4 years of experience. Now, I didn't make the switch from pen and paper to an LCD board right away. After moving away from my starter Pokemon, which were the pen and paper, I tried a whiteboard for a while before actually moving on to an LCD board. Now, I can honestly say that I cannot go back to any of the previous tools since I really love this one. And of course I didn't want to spend a lot of money, a fortune, on a LCD board. So I went ahead and bought the cheapest LCD board that I could find out there. It was about $5. Now, after using that one and really loving it, now buying a much higher end one, you might already know the answer to the outcome of that experiment, right? So today I am gonna be reviewing the Huion Inspiroy Ink H320M, and before I do so, I must note that this is actually an LCD tablet, as you can see here, but if you flip it over, you are going to see that this is also a digital drawing tablet. And since this is a review for note-taking of consecutive interpretation, I am only going to take into account this side, and that is what I will be reviewing, since as an interpreter we will not be using this side. So what comes in the box? Right away we can see that it has this very nice fancy looking box. Look at this. So it looks very nice, it looks very fancy, very high end. And right when we open the box, we can see that the drawing tablet, the LCD board side is right here. And if we flip it over, we have the drawing tablet. So right off the bat, you can see that this is a really nice looking product. And then besides that, we have all of the accessories, which it comes with a battery-free stylus PW100, so it doesn't need any batteries or anything. You can just use it right away. Another thing that comes in the box is this is a nice protective sleeve that it's really nice. It's for traveling, you know, so it doesn't get all scratched up and everything. So yeah, that's like a really nice and good addition to this. I should actually put it like this. So yeah, that's like a really nice plus thing for this product. And something else is 2 USB adapters, because you can actually hook this up to a smartphone. So it has the USB adapters to actually be able to hook it up to a smartphone, and it has a USB-C cable to hook it up to the computer or to the PC, to the computer or to the Android phone. And we also have this little pen holder that if you actually open it up, it has some tips for the stylus for whenever they get worn out. So it has 8 of them, which is really nice, and then this real nice pen holder so that you could put your pen there whenever you want. And it also comes with a battery. It's a CR2025 included in the product, which I am not going to show because I would have to take it out of the tablet. It has this little nice quick start guide, and it has this little cloth to clean it. Now this one came in here as well, I believe. I'm pretty sure it did, but for some reason I'm not able to fit it anymore. So I'm not sure if it actually came in here or it was separate, but the product does mention that it comes with it, so I'm pretty sure it came in the box. And I was just not able to put it back in the box. So yeah, it has all of this really nice stuff. So it seems pretty fancy to me, since the last LCD board that I had was only $5. So having this really nice LCD board with all of these accessories just seems really nice, and it looks very fancy to me. Now, to start off with the price seems quite reasonable to me, since here in Mexico the price is just shy of $60, or just around $60. Now, there are some higher end LCD tablets that actually cost around the same price. So having an LCD board for $60 and an actual drawing tablet for your PC or for your phone really seems like a big bargain to me. So I think that this is reasonably priced, and that the price is pretty good, because you're not just getting an LCD board, you're actually getting a drawing tablet as well, which just made it a no-brainer for me. And since I am starting to mess around a little bit with Photoshop and also with Illustrator, it made good sense to actually buy a product that will also actually serve me for both purposes. So as soon as I saw this, I didn't think of anything else. I knew this was the one for me. The quality is much better than expected compared to the $5 one. The precision that you actually get on this is incredible. I don't even have to press it that hard on the board to pick up the writing on it. And you can write as thin or as thick as you wish, and you don't even have to make much of an effort. And the surface is also like really sensitive, that if I am to go ahead and just press it with my finger, you can see that it leaves a mark. So the precision on this is incredible, and just for that I would say this is a must buy. Now, another thing is that I have not hooked it up to a phone, but the drawing tablet works very well with my computer with Photoshop and Illustrator. Now, this is also like very sturdy. It looks and feels very well made, and I have not had any problems with it yet. So as far as quality goes, I am very happy with the quality of this product. Now, for the weight, I actually have a scale, so I was able to go ahead and weigh this LCD board, which weighs roughly 426 grams. Now, if we go ahead and compare this, which I also weighed a regular notebook, the regular notebook weighs 290 grams. So this is 426 grams. So, I mean, not that much of a difference, right? Just a little bit over 100 grams difference from a notebook. Now, keep in mind that that was just a notebook, and if you're using a notebook, you have to use a sturdy surface so it doesn't fold and you can actually write comfortably. But this, you don't need anything else. So keep in mind that to those 290 grams, you're probably going to have to add another surface. I don't know. So I'm guessing that the weight is going to be roughly the same as a regular old notebook, right? So for the weight, I think the weight is good. It did seem quite heavy at the beginning when I first got it, because I was not used to it and I was used to a much smaller, simpler, cheaper LCD tablet. But this one is quite awesome, and even though it does weigh a little, I don't really find it heavy or hard to actually just lift it up and to actually begin writing on it. See, like I can hold it with one hand and I can actually write it. So the weight is perfect, and it doesn't weigh that much more than a regular notebook with something sturdy to be able to write on it. So for the weight, I'm sold. Now for the LCD board, all you have to do to get it working is just put the pen close to it, and that's it. Right out of the box, it already comes packaged with the battery and the stylus, which doesn't need a battery. So as soon as I took it out of the box, I was able to go like this, and voila, there you go. You have a writing surface. And to erase, this is practically easy. You just go ahead and press the erase button, and you can see how everything gets erased. Like, it doesn't matter if I write a lot, and every corner, every little corner that I draw on is going to go completely blank and reset once I press this button. So now, why am I telling you this? Because this is a very nice feature that the cheap LCD board didn't have. Sometimes whenever I was writing on it, it didn't erase completely black. Like, I had to press the button like 2 or 3 times to actually go ahead and get it to erase. So having it erase in a single go every time I press this little button is just wonderful to me. And one thing that I do note with LCD boards is, of course, like, for example, let's say you're writing here and you're writing here and then you made a mistake here. You can't, look, you see that was my nail, and look at how it wrote. Look, like, this is like just very sensitive, but that's beside the point. Like, say, okay, I made this is a mistake, I want to erase that. Now there's no way that you're actually going to be able to erase just that. Once you press the button, everything is gone and everything is lost. Now, this should not be a problem for interpreters, right? Since we cannot erase pen and we usually work with a pen, and we're used to, like, if we make a mistake and that's not it, we just know that we have to scratch it off and we can continue, right? So that is not a problem. And once you press that button, you know it will completely erase for your note taking. So that is very, very, very nice, and it makes it just wonderful to use, because after you press that button, you have a fresh board and you don't have to worry about pressing that button again, unless you accidentally hit it with something, right? Because, like, anything, any little thing would just leave a mark, which can be a bad thing, but I find it more of a very, very good thing. And another thing is that to connect the drawing tablet to the PC, all you need to do is just hook it up to your PC. Where is here it is, and let it focus. So here it is, the USB-C, which you connect directly to your PC or to your phone. Now, I have not hooked it up to a phone, but hooking it up to the PC was very easy. I just had to download the driver and the software to actually get it working. But once that was there, it was just pretty much plug in and play, and I have not had any difficulties using it. Like I told you, I have only used it for Photoshop and for Illustrator. And another addition to this is that on the on the drawing board side, it actually has buttons that you can customize. So that is also a very nice addition, and the software makes it very, very easy to go ahead and customize the buttons, which is awesome if you are purchasing it for this feature as well. Now, the dimensions of the LCD side of the board are 10.2 by 6.2 inches. So that is very, very big space. And if we go ahead and we compare this to a notebook, well, you can see that it's just shy of the size of the notebook. So as far as space goes, making the switch from a notebook, I don't think you will really feel the difference as far as space, because come on, honestly, this is like almost the same size as a regular notebook. And if we can see the width of the page, yes, I mean the length of the page, The width is a little shy. We can see that it's probably about an inch shy, so that shouldn't make much of a difference. And that is also great because you will have a lot of space, and you will run out of space, but not right away, so you won't have to constantly be pressing this button. You can easily just write your notes like this, like I do, and then right when you get to like about here, once this is empty, I know that the utterance is probably going to be a little bit too long, and I know that this is not enough space to actually get some notes. So if I have to write notes like in this space, then I will hit the erase button and I will go back to the top. So there is just enough room for you to write just like a regular old notebook page, so you shouldn't have any problem with that. Now I am going to mention the drawing size of the tablet, of the drawing tablet, right? As well, since this is a nice feature that it comes with. Now the size of this, you can see it, the limits here on each corner, and the size of this is actually 9 inches by 5.6 inches, and that provides you with a big enough area to work on any drawing software comfortably. And I have tried it and it is pretty good. It is awesome and it is very easy to use. Now, moving on, like I mentioned before, the quality of the stylus marks is just incredible. I actually don't have to press it that much to actually get it writing, and if you can see, I hit my finger there accidentally and it actually left the mark. Like I'm just like not even like I'm just tapping it a little bit, and you can see that it actually makes a mark. So this is perfect. For example, in my case, let me put it closer. In my case, I write very small. Like, let me write a what? So what or what? So I write very small, and I don't even have to press it that much, and you could see the quality that it gives you. Like, this is just uncomparable to the really cheap one that I was using before, and then voila, it's gone. So one more time so you can actually see how good it writes. And one thing that makes this awesome, and that I actually find it better than paper and pen, is that since this is so sensitive, I don't really have to write down on it as compared to a pen. So that makes it glides right over it, so it makes it much easier for me to actually write faster notes. So that is something that I really found helpful, and it has really helped me improve in taking much faster notes. So I would definitely recommend it because of that. And I find it easier to actually use it like this horizontally, because I can hold it with one hand easily, and then I can have it right next to my body, and I don't have to move my hand that much away from my body to actually be able to write on it. And I just move it a little bit, and I'm always writing on the center, right? So if I need to write right here, I'm moving it here, and then I write down, and then I just move it a little bit more, and then I write, and then I move it, and then I move it, and then I move it like that. So it is very easy to use. I find it easy to use. I'm gonna be honest here, and I'm gonna tell you that it did take me a while to get the hang of it, of how I actually should be taking my notes, because I had never used an LCD board this big or a whiteboard. My whiteboard was probably like around this size, so it was pretty small. The size of it gave it a little bit of time of it getting adjusted to it, but other than that, is great. I'm just gonna show you that you can also use it like this, and of course the camera cannot see it, but I find it much harder because if you start writing off the top, your arm is going to be farther away from your body, and that put me in an uncomfortable position. Maybe might not do it for you, but for me, I find it that this is the perfect orientation to actually go ahead and use this LCD writing board. Another thing that makes it easy to use is that the regular CR2025 battery is easy to find anywhere. So right off the bat, you will get to enjoy the easy use of this dual tablet. This product is very portable because of course it comes with this nice protective sleeve. So you just pick it up and you just slide it right into the sleeve. Not a problem, it fits right in there very easily. So once you have it like this, you can just toss it in a bag, toss it in your backpack, and you don't have to worry about it getting all scratched up. Right, so that makes it very, very, very portable. And to be able to interpret it, all that you really need is your pen, your drawing board, and this sleeve. I actually, whenever I use it, I go ahead and use it like this. I always hold it with the sleeve. Now, why do I always hold it with the sleeve? Because I notice that my hands sweat, and if I grab it just like this, if you have small kids or little kids, you know, whenever you let your cell phone be used by a little kid and then they return it with all the sweat marks and all the booger marks and everything. Well, if you are to hold this just like that, this side is going to get nasty, like very full of sweat marks and I don't know what. I did it like that the first time, and honestly I needed something to hold on to, and I went ahead and I noticed that, well, I can just hold this, right? So I don't get my sticky, sweaty fingers on there and it gets all nasty. So for portability, it is very portable. You would also need to carry the cloth with you because sometimes it gets a little dirty and it feels bad. Like if there's like a sweat mark here of dry sweat and then you press upon it, it'll feel kind of scratchy, and that makes me feel bad, like I'm gonna scratch it. I haven't scratched it yet. If you see, like, it's a pretty good condition. So yeah, and I mean, I think you can see a little sweat mark there, I'm not sure, but yeah, but whenever you're using it for an assignment, you will get sweaty and it will get bad. So I recommend just holding it with the protective sleeve, right? And another thing that you actually have to keep in mind is that you are going to need to carry a spare battery with you, because at some point this is going to run out of battery, right? And you are going to need to replace it. So for portability, I find this very portable and I just love it. Now, this LCD board claims that it has 50,000 uses. Now, 50,000 uses seems like a very, very high number, but when you actually spend your time and you have an 8-hour shift and you're writing on this and you are erasing this the whole day, now that number does not seem that big. And to be honest, I don't know how long it is going to take to actually reach that 50,000, but I am thinking that it's not going to be that long. I have not used it that much. I have probably used it for about 2 months, so I will not be able to give you advice in how that goes. But in the future, if you follow our channel and if you see my online sessions, I will be leaving you with information about what happened. I'll be giving you an update in how this LCD board is holding up to be used professionally in consecutive interpreting. Another thing that I don't like is that to actually change the battery, you can see here that, so let me go ahead and focus on that, and it's not focusing, but yeah, you need there we go. Oh, it didn't. All right, so you actually need a screwdriver, a really tiny screwdriver, to actually go ahead and change the battery. Now it's not focusing on it, but you can kind of see it, like it kind of wants to focus but it doesn't. So yeah, there we go, perfect. So you see the little tip of the Phillips screwdriver that you actually need to get to change the battery. Now, why do I think this is bad? Not only because the screwdriver needs to be very small, but also because it's not included. So if you are planning on buying this LCD board slash drawing tablet, you are going to have to get yourself one of those little screwdrivers to actually change the battery if you actually don't have one. And another thing that I didn't like about this is that having to use a screwdriver to change the battery. Now, if you are actually interpreting a session and the battery dies out on you, it has not died out on me today, and I'm using the stock battery that came with this. It's been over 2 months that I've been using it, and it has not run out, so that is actually very good. But I mean, you can just see the problem. If this thing runs out of battery and you need to change the battery on the fly, now you're not going to be able to do it because you need the tiny screwdriver, you need to unscrew it, you need to get your battery, and you need to do it. Now, if you're in a session, you might get away with it saying, give me a moment to change my battery, and then you do it. But I would advise against that because it will mess up the flow of the call. So what I would recommend is, if this thing runs out of battery, you have something to back you up. Just regular pen and paper is going to do a great job until you finish the session, and then you can change the battery out of the session, right? I'm never going back to pen and paper unless it is absolutely necessary, and I don't use this as backup. What do I use as a backup? I actually use my old LCD board, which I don't have here, but I use that as a backup. So if this bad boy is running out of battery, I have another LCD board that is not quite as good, but I know that is going to get me out of trouble at that moment. And now, one more thing that I didn't like about this is that whenever you store it into the little protective sleeve bag, so there it goes, so it's stored, right? And this is not getting scratched up or anything, so it is protected, and that is very, very wonderful. But you're going to see what I don't like right away. Now, it didn't do it this time. Let me try to do it again. So let's just say it's there, and then we put it into a bag, right? We toss it, it's getting tossed around in the bag, and blah, blah, blah. Getting hit from everywhere, from you running to your job, whatever. So now let's take it out. Now you can see how there's like this little specks, right? Look, that's from how sensitive this thing is. So even though you put it on the sleeve and it is not gonna get scratched, but it is going to be marked up. Now, of course, if you go ahead and just press the erase button, all of those marks go away. So why don't I like this? Because I'm pretty sure that every one of those little accidental marks count towards those 50,000 uses of life. So every time you put it into that sleeve and it gets marked, for example, that, there you go, that's one less use. So that is something that I didn't like. But of course, I mean, I would rather have a very, very sensitive tablet like this that gets marked up just from putting your nail on it, than to actually have one that I have to press upon it really, really hard to get it to draw comfortably, right? Like the old one that I have. So yeah, like any product, it has its bad things, but I wouldn't say that they are that bad that would keep me from buying this product again. I would definitely recommend this for anyone trying to look to get an LCD board that is also interested in a digital drawing tablet, right? So you get the best of both worlds, and since this combo will give you the most for your bang, in your opinion, I would say this is a definite must buy for somebody that is actually interested in using both sides of the board. Now, buy it, definitely. I really love the sensitivity. I really love the ease of use and the portability, which makes this a no-brainer and makes this a perfect option to actually go ahead and make the switch from pen and paper. Now, having said that, having a digital drawing tablet might be overkill for someone that is not interested in using this aspect of this board, and they would just be paying more for a feature that they would never use, right? So that really doesn't make sense. It is for this reason that I am going to give this tablet combo an 8 out of 10 for the use of this tool as an LCD board for note taking, and just for note taking and just this. Now, for a person that is actually interested on using both sides, I would say 10 out of 10, definitely. But if you're just an interpreter who is just looking to go into the world of LCD board, then I would say it doesn't really make sense to actually buy this, because it's just a little too much if you're not going to be using this, right? And I honestly wish that they made just an LCD board, but unfortunately I've been looking around and this company doesn't make LCD boards. They are most interested in actually the drawing boards. So yeah, I mean, I understand that they got like their business right, but honestly, if they got this right, I would say the LCD boards, they did an amazing job on this. I am very happy with the LCD board, and I wish they could just only make LCD boards. And if they do happen to make only LCD boards in the future, you bet I'm gonna be purchasing some of them to make sure that they are the same quality. And if they are, then I'm gonna be sold. I'm never gonna be going to another brand, most likely, because I believe they nailed it. They nailed it, like sensitivity, portability, size, weight, everything. I would say this is a winner for me, and I really love it. And you bet that I will be purchasing more of their very well made products in the future. And this is going to be pretty much it for this review. Please remember to hit that like button if you found this review helpful, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss any of our awesome content. Thank you very much for watching. Happy interpreting. Goodbye.
If you like this video, don't forget to smash that like button. Also, share this video with other beginner interpreters or anyone who can benefit from this information. Thank you all so much for all the support you guys have given us. This means the world to us. Don't forget, we also have social media. We have a Facebook group and a Facebook page. We also have an Instagram and the one I love the most, TikTok. We just recently got a buy me a coffee, and also, if you guys didn't already know, we do have a Patreon account. If you guys would like to support us a little more, we'd love to have you guys over there. And as always, I will be posting all the links to these pages down below in the description box. Thanks for watching!